Welcome to Paris. We're in the city of love, art, history, and yes, amazing food. Today, we're diving deep into Paris, from the Eiffel Tower to Montmartre, from street crepes to elegant patisseries. But this isn't your typical tourist checklist. We're going to feel the soul of the city, hear its stories, and of course, taste everything we can. Let's go explore. So, obviously, we're kicking things off with the Eiffel Tower, built in 1889 by Gustave Eiffel. And believe it or not, Parisians actually hated it at first. They thought it ruined the city's vibe. But now, it's the ultimate symbol of Paris. If you come early in the morning like I did, it's so peaceful. Take the elevator up to the second floor, and if you're feeling brave, walk the rest of the way. Your legs might hate you, but your camera roll will love you. The Eiffel Tower was built in just 2 years, 2 months, and 5 days. That's insanely fast for something that iconic, right? They used over 18,000 iron parts and around 2.5 million rivets to put this giant puzzle together. And here's the wild part. When it was finished, it stood at 300 meters tall, making it the tallest structure in the world at the time. It held that title all the way until 1930, when the Chrysler Building popped up in New York and said, "Move over, Paris." So, you might be wondering, why the heck did they even build this giant iron triangle in the first place? Well, back in 1889, Paris was hosting this massive event called the World's Fair, or the Exposition Universelle, if you want to sound fancy. It was a big deal. Countries from all over the world came to show off their coolest inventions and architectural flexes. France? They were like, we're going to blow everyone's minds. So they hired Gustave Eiffel and his team to design something huge, bold, and totally different. And boom, the Eiffel Tower was born. It was basically France going, "Hey world, look what we can do with iron and imagination." And guess what? It worked. People talked, people freaked out. Some hated it at first, but it became the symbol of Paris. Like, can you even picture Paris without it now? Exactly. After all that, I sat down on a bench across the tower with a fresh croissant I grabbed from a local boulangerie. And let me tell you, these buttery, flaky things, nothing like what I've had anywhere else. It's the kind of croissant that makes you go quiet mid-bite. All right, let's switch gears and get into some art. We're at the Louvre, yeah, where the Mona Lisa lives. But fun fact, this place was originally a fortress built in the 12th century. Then it became a royal palace, and eventually this massive art museum. And it's not just about the Mona Lisa. Every corner has something that'll stop you in your tracks. After spending hours inside, I wandered over to Rue de Rivoli and found this charming little patisserie. I tried the Mont Blanc dessert, chestnut puree topped with whipped cream. Sounds simple, but it's so delicate. Honestly, feels like you're eating a sculpture. Now we're heading to Montmartre, my favorite neighborhood in Paris. This is where artists, poets, and dreamers have always hung out. The cobbled streets, the random accordion music, the murals. It's like walking through a vintage French movie. When you hike up to Sacré-Cœur Basilica, the view is just wow. You can see all of Paris laid out in front of you. I found this little tucked-away bistro nearby and tried the French onion soup. The cheese was perfectly melted over the bread. The broth was rich and warm. It was like getting a hug from the city. Now, we're on an island. Île de la Cité, right in the middle of the Seine River. And of course, here's Notre Dame Cathedral. It's still under restoration after the fire, but the Gothic architecture, still absolutely stunning. Construction started in the 12th century, and every gargoyle, every detail tells a story. As I wandered around, I found this tiny place called Odette. They make the cutest little cream-filled profiteroles. I went with the vanilla. Crisp on the outside, silky smooth inside. One bite in, and I was like, Okay, this is dangerous. Time for a little luxury. We're walking down the Champs-Élysées, Paris' most iconic shopping street. And at the end of it stands the Arc de Triomphe, built by Napoleon to honor his victories. You can climb to the top for a panoramic view that lines up perfectly with the Eiffel Tower. While I was wandering, I couldn't resist stopping at Ladurée. Yes, the macaron place. I went for raspberry, but let's be honest, I wanted to try every single flavor. These little things are tiny masterpieces. If you need a break from the crowds, this is the place, the Luxembourg Gardens. Designed in the 1600s by Marie de Medici in an Italian style, it's calm, green, and honestly feels like stepping into a painting. Kids are sailing toy boats, people are reading, just soaking in the peace. I found a cafe nearby, grabbed a table, ordered a simple espresso. And you know what? That moment, with the breeze, the view, and that coffee, it was one of the most Parisian things I've ever felt. Before we dive in, grab your coffee, because I'm about to take you into a real-life fairy tale. Today, I'm finally showing you the place that's been my dream since childhood, Disneyland Paris. If you've ever dreamed of taking a selfie with Mickey Mouse or caught yourself sighing over the iconic pink castle on Instagram, then you're absolutely in the right place. So let's find out together. Is Disneyland really as magical as they say? The moment you step into Disneyland Paris, you feel like you've left all the stress of the real world behind. It's honestly like falling straight into a storybook. As soon as you walk through the entrance, those classic Disney tunes start playing, and the very first thing you see is that iconic pink castle. Sleeping Beauty's castle. And yes, it's just as breathtaking in real life. Everywhere you look, people are rocking Mickey ears, holding colorful balloons, snapping pics with characters, and honestly, whether they admit it or not, adults are reliving their childhoods right alongside the kids. Disneyland Park is like stepping into a traditional fairy tale, while Walt Disney Studios Park brings the world of Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars right to your feet. Space Mountain? Absolute madness. It's like flying through space on a roller coaster. And Pirates of the Caribbean? You're literally floating through a pirate world. So many insane little details to catch. It's like you're inside the movie. Now, the food? Not gonna lie, it's pricey. But dining in a themed restaurant like Captain Jack's, where you're literally surrounded by water and candlelight, feels like being in a film set. And then comes the real magic. At night, thousands gather in front of the castle to watch Disney illuminations, a jaw-dropping mix of lights, lasers, fountains, and fireworks. The castle transforms, coming to life with projections of Simba, Elsa, Ariel, and more. Everyone's singing along, from toddlers to grown-ups. No one cares how old they are, because here we all believe in a little bit of magic. So put on your Mickey ears, get ready to queue up, set aside a bit of budget, and just enjoy yourself. Because Disneyland Paris truly is a place where, for one day, you're allowed to be a kid again. Now we're heading into one of the coolest neighborhoods in Paris, Le Marais. It's got history, it's got edge, and it's super artsy. Place des Vosges, by the way, is Paris' oldest planned square, built in the early 1600s, and it's still stunning. So I heard about this falafel place that supposedly has the best in Paris. Las du Falafel. The line was long, which is always a good sign. And yeah, they weren't kidding. Crispy, flavorful, packed with fresh veggies. Absolutely worth it. More art, but with a twist. The Musée d'Orsay used to be a train station, and now it houses some of the most incredible Impressionist art. Monet, Van Gogh, Degas, you name it. You get the feeling these artists really captured the light and emotion of France. And for our last stop, Saint-Germain-des-Prés. This area is where the intellectuals and writers used to hang out. Jean-Paul Sartre, Simone de Beauvoir. cafes full of philosophy and long conversations. Even today, it has this really refined, bookish charm. I grabbed a seat at Les Deux Magots, a place with serious history, ordered a black coffee. I just sat, and people watched for a while. And I swear, Paris isn't just a place, it's a mood, a state of mind. And that's a wrap on our Paris adventure. We explored art, architecture, and of course, food. I hope this gave you a taste of what makes Paris so magical. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe, and leave a comment on what part of Paris you want to see next. Until next time, au revoir.